All right, we are now joined by Wisconsin head coach Bo Ryan and student athletes Josh Gasser, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker. Same procedure as last time. Once again, as a reminder, please identify yourself and your affiliation prior to asking your question. 2-minute statement from Coach Ryan.
Well, we're extremely happy to get another 40 minutes. That was not our best half, the first half, and yet it still on paper was a one-possession game. In the locker room with my guys, it's always 0-0, but knowing that we could shoot it better, and when I was interviewed at halftime, I said if we shoot over 50% or better, that's the way we can get this game. So you saw we shot 57 and made our free throws. So that was a difference, and we're certainly proud to represent the Big Ten in advance.
All right, we're going to open up the questions for the student athletes. We're going to start with Jill Painter right here, and then we'll go along the side there.
Jill Painter, Lopez, Fox Sports West. Congratulations on the win. Frank, you started a little bit slow there. Can you kind of assess kind of what happened earlier on and then the end of the game for you?
We just had to figure out, how they were playing defense. I think a lot of it had to do with us getting stops and, trying to take away their transition. And once we were able to do that, it was a good game for us. But, coming out of halftime, no one wants to go home. We're playing this season. This is my last go-around, so, I was just going to give it my all in the second half.
All right, we have white shirt over here, please.
Sam, Ted Sobel, the Beast 980 in Los Angeles. Congratulations on the win. I want to get your feelings on your overall performance today and exactly what you added to this group in this one.
Well, I thought I played a pretty good game. It wasn't a complete 40 minutes, but early in the first half, I thought we needed a spark, and I thought, all right, I saw some opportunities in the open court, to get us a spark, and Frank set some good rub screens, and we just tried to attack them right away, and they got switched up a couple times on those screens, and it gave me a lane to the bucket, and if I use my athleticism the way I should, I tend to be able to get there. So I just tried to stay on the attack mode. My shot wasn't falling like I like it to be, so I just tried to take it into the lane more and get some easy buckets and just cause a difference in there.
We're going to go to the gentleman in the bow tie on the side, please.
Myron Metcalf, ESPN. For Josh, what was the conversation like, especially on the court with your teammates before that 9-0 run? What were you guys saying to each other, and how did you maintain your composure?
Yeah, nothing different than it usually is. Just trying to value every possession. I think that's where our experience comes in, especially with last year's run. 1 or 2 possessions can really determine your season. So we wanted to, first and foremost, get stops on the defensive end. We couldn't string them together like we usually do. So that's what we wanted to do first. And offensively, we were confident that everything was going to get going there, and we were able to make some big plays at the end to pull out the win.
We're going to go Josh right here in the third row, please.
Zach Braziller, New York Post. For Frank, what is it about this team that you were able to play so well in those last 7 minutes? It seemed like you guys executed every time down the floor. They looked to be in control, and in those last 7 minutes, it was a different game.
Well, we had a veteran bunch. Everyone understands, time and score, what we need to do. When you got leaders like Josh and Trey coming back and stepping up and really being a vocal leader out there and now on the court too, it's just great to have so many voices understanding what needs to happen and what we need to do out on the court, and which was getting stops and then coming down and getting good easy looks at the bucket, and we were able to do so, and it really showed in that run.
We'll go right here in the second row on the aisle, please.
Nick Hamilton, Examiner.com. Frank, it seems like you found your rhythm in the second half. How did you remain patient in the first half and then coming out explosive in the second half?
I just don't get frustrated. Sam had a great first half and really kept us in that game. Without Sam out there getting some buckets, he had that tip in at the end of the first half that really, helped us out. So, I just knew coming out in the second half I had to be aggressive and, try to open up things for my teammates, and I was able to do so.
All right, we should have Beth right here, please.
Yeah, Josh, Beth Harris, AP. When Frank got poked in the eye there and went down, and then you guys go into the timeout, come out of that, Bronson hits that 3, and then you really get going on that run. Was that just seeing Frank on the floor? Was that any kind of thing that got you guys kind of going there and revved you up a little bit?
It was great to see you on the floor, Frank. I like playing with Frank. He's a pretty good player. So, but the thing with us is, we're not defined by one player. Sorry, Frank. We got good guys who can come in and contribute. And I knew Frank was going to come back in. He just needed to, rest up for a minute there. But that just shows, the balance and depth of our team is different guys can step up in different moments. And I don't think Bronson would tell you he had his best game ever, but he was still able to make some big plays at the end. That 3 he hit and a couple free throws at the end. So, that's what this team's all about.
I'm going to the back on the right here, please.
Yeah, for Josh, David Moore with USA Today. Here I am in back. Could you describe your defensive mindset against Page and maybe share a little bit of the highlights of the conversation that was taking place?
Well, the mindset was don't relax at all. Every possession, because if you let him get open for a split second, he's going to knock it down, and he showed that at the end there. Those last 2 threes he hit. So he's a really good player, and those are the type of players I love to go against because you have to bring it, you have to play well in order to win. So we were just talking. He's a good dude. We were having fun out there. That's what it's all about. So nothing out of the ordinary, just normal talking.
We're going to go to the back, and then we'll go up here.
For Sam, Josh was talking about different guys stepping up. Can you address the importance of what Showalter and Jackson did today, and how much of a boost getting Trey back gave you guys?
That was huge. Seeing Trey check in and come out, he got a well-deserved standing O. People have been waiting for him to come back, and then Trey did what he does. Hit a 3 right away. He's always one for the dramatic. So it was great to get him back out there, just get his leadership. He didn't play as many minutes as he's used to because it's his first game back, obviously, but he was still being a leader in the huddles, telling us where to go, what to do, and just keeping us calm. And Shoei, that's 2 games in a row now, and showing what he can do. That floater inside that he had, finger roll, was really nice. That's something he's worked on a lot. And then he was being himself, getting back cut and getting a steal. Those are the things that we need from him, and just him to contribute, and he's got the skill to do it.
We're going to go right here, please.
Either for Sam or Josh, did you guys feel like they looked like they were outplaying you, but did you feel like those last 6 minutes that was your time? Was there anything said about this? This is what it's all about. This is our, this is what we came back for with obviously Sam and Frank.
Yeah, I came back too. No, we talk enough. We don't need to talk to each other too much because you just gotta go out there and do it. Sometimes, we've been in positions before where we've been down. Recently against Michigan State in the Big Ten championship game, it was looking a little bleak there for a little bit. So just having that confidence that we can, turn it on and really put a good run together when we need it. That's what it's all about. We don't need to yell at each other or get each other psyched up or anything like that. We understand situations, and I think it showed.
We have time for 2 more questions for the student athletes. We're going to go there and then over here.
Roger Rubin from the New York Daily News for Frank and then Sam. We're many minutes removed from the game, and you guys sort of seem like it was all calm, cool, and collected. But when it was a 1-point game late, were you guys really actually that calm, cool, and collected? Or is there some sense of like, we pulled it out?
There was a sense of urgency, definitely while we were out there. We know we needed to go out there and get stops and make a run. But there's really nothing you can say in that situation to each other other than go out there and do it. Like Josh said, we don't need to get in each other's faces, and we just know how to stay calm. Like I said, we're a veteran group and we understand situations, and we've been through a lot as a group, so we know what it takes to win games like that at the end of the game. We were just going out there and having fun and trying to do whatever we could to win.
Yeah, like Frank said, you just got to stay with it. Keep doing your game plan. And it starts from the top. Coach Ryan and our coaching staff, they never change their mantra. They're always just being themselves. And no matter what the score, whatever time, if we're up or down, they're going to be themselves, and they're going to coach the way they always coach. And then that rubs off on you as a player. Like, all right, you just got to do what you do, execute. And if we do that well and we get stops, we're going to be fine. And with a veteran group, like Frank said, guys, our sophomores, last year they played in a Final Four. That grows you up quick. So Nigel and Bronson are veterans themselves. So when you have 5 guys at all times out there with experience in big games, you're not going to be, you're not going to be touched with it. You're going to be, just going to be yourself. You're going to be confident, go out there and execute like
Last question for the student athletes will be right there.
It's for Frank. Clay Fowler from the LA Daily News. First of all, when you were watching Bronson shoot those 2 free throws, how were you feeling? And then when you were shooting yours down the stretch there, did you have to calm yourself down at all?
Well, to end all practices before our games, the practice the day before, Bronson's always got to make a free throw at the end. That's the point guard's role. He's the leader of the team out on the court. So, I had all faith in the world that Bronson was going to step up and knock down those shots. And then, we've practiced free throws so many times, for a long time in practice. So, all the guys on our team have the confidence to go out there and step up and knock them down. And everyone knows that, once it gets to free throw time at the end of the game, we got to make our free throws or, they're going to come down and score. So it was just, we've been through that a lot this season with situations like that. So it's just nice to be able to go out there and do it.
All right, with that, thank you, gentlemen. Good luck.
All right, guys.
We'll see you tomorrow. Open up to questions for Coach Ryan. You're going to make it easy on him, let him go home? We'll start right there, Ted.
Coach, congratulations. How good are you guys right now? You're back into the 8, and how do you feel that this team really shapes up compared to what else is out there for you?
Well, I don't dwell on comparisons. I think people just waste so much time doing. I don't have time to spend on comparisons. All I do is I'll leave from here and find out who wins this second game and start looking at film on them and look at the clips, and our coaches are already on it. It's amazing. We spent so much time with the scout team running North Carolina's transition offense. Well, there's one problem. The scout team didn't have Page, Meeks, James, Tokita. Okay, so you get what I'm saying. So, but once we got used to the speed, once they figured out, wait a minute, they got 6, 8 points in transition. Look at the stat sheet. How much did we give up the next 30-some minutes? That's what I like about our guys. They're not as athletic, maybe they're not, but they're smart in that if they see things developing, and they concentrate and get back to, okay, whoa, that guy's a lot faster than I thought, then, it's like anything else. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I like to have guys like that. And the adjustment that they made and the fact that we only turned the ball over twice with their pressure, with their athletes, pressuring us, that was short of phenomenal, I thought.
Raphael, please.
Raphael Johnson, NBC Sports. Going into the half, you guys were only down 3 points. Were there any serious adjustments that you had to make offensively to deal with their athleticism on that end?
Well, yeah, when they asked me at halftime, I said, we got to make those shots that we had, and we did. We shot a much better percentage, and I think it was 2 points at halftime. And it's kind of similar to a game in the Big Ten tournament. I think it was either Michigan State or Purdue, where Frank hit a 3 at the buzzer at the end of the half to give us some momentum. We know how fickle the game can be. These guys have been through a lot. They've seen the good runs. They've seen the bad runs. But this group never gets discouraged to the point where they get down on themselves or their teammates. And that's what's fun about. And I've had a lot of teams like that. It's not like we haven't coached those kind of guys. But this group right here handles adversity as well as any team I've ever coached.
Zach, go ahead.
Zach Brazil, New York Post. Bo, why do you think that is? Why do you think this team never?
Well, I think experience. I think some really heady. You have to take a look at the players and how they ended up at Wisconsin. You got Josh Gasser, who was sitting there, wanted to be at Wisconsin, and we hadn't offered him a scholarship until something happened with another player that decommitted. So Gasser comes to Wisconsin because he really wanted to be there. So you got a guy that's bought in already. Trey Jackson wasn't getting a lot of love from Big Ten schools, that type thing. We liked his moxie. We liked his court awareness. Sometimes people see the flaws and other people see the positives. We thought Trey Jackson could be an excellent addition to us. And then Frank Kaminsky, that story has been said way too many times. And Howard Moore has gotten a little out of control on his recruiting ability. with Frank. That's a joke, by the way. He didn't have to twist my arm very hard to offer Frank a scholarship, but Frank was kind of overlooked. So I'm not going to go through every player, but if you take our guys and they're here, they've bought in, they are so committed. The difference between involved and committed, you sit down to the breakfast of bacon and eggs, you look at the eggs, you know the chicken was involved, you look at the bacon, you know the pig was committed. I mean, I heard that at Platteville in 1984, and I've used it in every banquet speech I've ever given, because I told the guy that told me that I was going to use it. So I got a lot of committed guys in that lot. They're all committed. They all, and they're here at Wisconsin for the right reasons.
We'll go right here in the middle, please.
Coach Rafe Bartholomew, Grantland.com. I wanted to ask you about what it's like to go against North Carolina's pressure, especially on the perimeter. You said you guys didn't turn the ball over much, but they, forced into some tough possessions, it seemed, and kept the offense from looking as pretty as it does a lot of the time. Were there in-game adjustments you made? Was it just gutting out some offensive rebounds and back cuts when they were open? Sort of what put you over the top?
Everything you just mentioned went into it because of their pressure. We got the back doors. Showalter got a couple. You take what you can get, and the hungrier you are, the better you'll perform. So we try to create those kind of situations in practice. We can't duplicate, as I said before, the athletes that they had out there. But we got guys that work real hard that are on that scout team. And our assistant coaches, Coach Guard had the scout here, and he had everything right on. And once we figured out their quickness and everything else, like I said, then, oh yeah, the scouting report was exactly what Coach Guard had given them. So I think you're right. We took some shots that maybe weren't when people watch us play. Couple forced shots in there, not in position. We were floating a little bit, and good defensive players like North Carolina turned it on there. If anybody here has seen North Carolina play all the time, we've got them on film. Well, I can't remember them playing that hard in the passing lanes for 40 minutes. And correct, I'm going to have to look at some film. Oh, because, man, they got after it. And we know what kind of defense the next two teams play, whoever comes out of that one. So, yeah, you know why? Because it's down to what? How many teams? It's hard. It's hard to score.
We'll go Zach, and then we'll go on the aisle there.
Zach Rizzo, New York Post. Decker had his career high 23 at 10 rebounds, had some big block shots late. Is this one of the best all-around games you feel he's played?
Oh, I saw a few things we'll have to correct. That 360 fadeaway, jump back, scissor toss-up was like, what, did he just get possessed by a demon? No, he just needed a rest. See, guys have signals to me like when they want to be taken out. Don't block out one time. Oh, I'm going to tell coach I'm tired. I'm not going to block out this time. So the guy doesn't block out, so he comes out. It's not like I take a guy out because they commit a turnover all the time. There was twice this year that I didn't.
We'll go white shirt in the middle, please.
Matt Velasquez, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. You mentioned that Josh, from day one, has been a player who's been committed. And tonight he looked like a senior who didn't want to go home. What can you say about his performance today?
Page had 6 points. No, he gets 2 threes and a 2. So that's 8 of his 12. So he had 4 points up until those last 3 baskets that he hit. And free throws. Josh, and those, you know how deep those threes were? When I was little, I was in a gym once and saw Herbie McGee play. And he used to shoot from about 30 feet on the other side of half court. I don't know if you ever heard of Herbie McGee, but he's won like 1,000 games at Philadelphia College. He's the guy with the deepest range I've ever seen. Well, I think Marcus hit him from 2 of them. And one was over Frank, who was outstretched, and the other one was over Josh. Josh Gasser is a guy who, whatever the assignment is, he'll take it on, and he's never wavered at all.
Ted, you get the last question.
Coach, I got to ask you one thing about the big cheerleader that was sitting behind your bench. Did you notice Aaron Rodgers going nuts for you guys? And if you did, is he one of the most famous front runners of all time, being a former Cal guy? And I mean that in a good way.
Aaron Rodgers, the
Yeah,
guy,
you've heard of him.
The guy that, not Aaron Andrews.
No, Aaron Rodgers.
It was Aaron Rodgers behind our bench.
Quarterback for the Packers.
Really? I didn't notice he was there. Cuz,
Really?
was he there?
Yes, he was.
Did you?
I thought maybe
Coach Alvarez probably talked a little strategy with him, I'm sure. No,
Cal-
he's
Cal
not a
guy
big
rooting
front
for
runner.
Wisconsin.
He's been great all along. He's been very supportive, and he does all these charities in the state, and a lot of us get involved in the charities, the staff, and he gives a lot back. He is a good guy to have around too. He's got better jokes than most. But it was nice that he was there. I didn't get a chance to see him. I had to ham it up in the locker room with him last year, making faces and stuff like that. But hopefully he sticks around. Is he going to be around? Bear? All right. He doesn't have anything else. He might go down to Cal and donate money to his alma mater.
All right, with that, we'll wrap it up. Thank you, Coach. We'll see you here tomorrow.
He's going to be mad I said that.